Alright, so here's the deal. Don't lose hope just yet. I know it's been a while since the last update for Dead Rails, but I'm staying optimistic. I'm sure Rico Miller and the devs don't want to see the game die, and they're working hard behind the scenes to bring us something good. I've got a feeling we're going to get something soon. Maybe this Saturday or next week at the latest. But hey, if it takes much longer, it could really start to hurt the game. And that's something none of us wants to see. So how about we turn this waiting game into a bit of a challenge? When do you think the update will actually drop? Drop your predictions in the comments, and let's see who gets it right. Personally, I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later, because if the update doesn't come soon, we could be looking at a serious decline in the player base. And that's something we can't ignore, especially with the way things have been trending. But hey, while we wait, I've got some exciting ideas to keep the energy up and keep the hope alive for the game we all love. Let's dive into these concepts and see if we can spark some inspiration for what's next in Dead Rails. Alright, let's start off with a concept that I'm really excited about. The Old Mansion. Picture this. It's a spooky, eerie mansion that's overrun with dangerous outlaws. It's not just any ordinary place, though. Once you clear out the outlaws, you get to unlock the mansion and turn it into your own base of operations. Imagine a place you can really call your own, with a bunch of outlaws who, once defeated, become friendly NPCs that help you defend yourself until the end of the game. But here's the twist. After you clear out the outlaws and think you're done, the Outlaw Boss shows up. This guy's a beast, and you'll need to get through him to fully secure the mansion. He's got a shotgun, a lot of health, and some tough moves, but beating him gets you a key to unlock the full mansion and claim it as your own. Think about the possibilities here. You'd have a fully functional hideout with a laser defense system to keep zombies and enemies at bay. You could even set up turrets and security cameras in the basement, making it a safe spot for all your loot and upgrades. Now, let's talk about something that would really change the vibe in Dead Rails: a wooden train. This would be a new train type made out of logs and wood, giving it that old-school, rustic feel. It'd be faster and more maneuverable than the ordinary train, making it ideal for certain parts of the game where you need that extra speed and agility. It's going to cost 165 bonds, and I know that we already have somewhat like a wooden type of train that's considered to be the fastest train, but this wooden train has a unique mechanic. You can drop logs behind you while moving. Not only does this act as a defensive weapon to block enemies or slow them down, but it also lightens your load, making the train faster. The more logs you dump, the faster you go. And once you're out of cargo, your speed becomes comparable to some of the fastest trains in the game. Also, there is going to be a new feature. The wooden train could be unlocked in a new area that's all about nature and wilderness, where you can collect resources and gear up for your next journey. Instead of a desert, there is going to be a POI related to the actual forest. The wooden design would stand out, and it'd be a whole new experience to cruise through the map, in a train that's unlike anything we've seen before. Plus, it could bring some new gameplay elements into the mix. Maybe even some unique upgrades that you can't get anywhere else. Speaking of outlaws, here's an idea that could add some serious challenge to the game: the Outlaw Boss. This mini-boss is no joke. He's got a shotgun, armor, and all sorts of tricks up his sleeve. Just like the ordinary outlaw, but he's tougher than any outlaw you've faced so far. And he'll force you to use all your ammos, snake oils, holy waters to defeat him. But here's the kicker. Once you defeat him, you don't just get loot. You unlock special items that you can only get from him. This could be a new outlaw hat that's going to give you the chance to recruit some outlaw NPCs to fight alongside you. Now, how about some new NPCs to add a bit of variety to the game? I'm thinking friendly outlaws. These guys wouldn't be enemies. Instead, they'd be NPCs you can team up with. They could offer quests, help you with combat, or even just give you useful info about different areas of the game. Maybe they could help you out when you're facing a tough mini-boss or fight alongside you in key battles. These outlaws wouldn't be overpowered, but they'd be useful allies to have around, adding some cool new interactions to the game. Okay, now let's add a bit of horror to the mix. Introducing the maggot zombie. These zombies are straight up gross. They're covered in maggots, and when you kill them, they explode in a burst of rotten flesh and maggots that can contaminate the area. These guys would be a real pain to deal with. especially in tighter spaces because their explosion could mess you up and affect nearby players. But taking them down would reward you with some rare loot, and their grotesque death animations would add a cool visual element to the game. Let's talk about a new POI, Rusty Train Yard. This place is a graveyard of old, abandoned trains, and it's a perfect location for some epic loot and tough enemies. You could find all sorts of items here, but there's a catch. The trains are surrounded by traps, broken tracks, and environmental hazards. Imagine having to fix the tracks or repair broken trains just to get to the next area. It would really challenge players to think on their feet and work together to unlock the full potential of the yard. Plus, there could be some rare loot hidden in these wrecks, items that you can't find anywhere else in the game. Here's a simple but awesome quality of life improvement: customizable train interiors. Right now, the train is just a means of transportation, but what if you could make it your own? Imagine decorating it with different styles, weapons racks, storage spaces, and even some comfort items like a nice chair or a table. This would make the train feel more like your personal space and give you something to work towards beyond just the gameplay objectives. It would add a fun new element to the game, letting players customize their ride however they like. Also, and another idea I've been thinking about lately is a railroad battle arena. Basically a special PvP zone where players can fight each other for rewards and bragging rights. This could be an area set up with trains and obstacles where you and other players can duke it out in combat. Think of it like a competitive battleground with a twist. There would be trains moving along the tracks, and players would need to avoid them while trying to take out their opponents. The cool part? You wouldn't just be fighting each other with weapons. The environment itself would play a huge role in how the battles unfold. There could be explosive barrels, collapsing train cars, and traps that could take out players if they aren't paying attention. I know that the players love to get a PvP, so yeah. Victory in the Railroad Battle Arena would come with rewards like rare loot for starting the casual survival mode, special perks for your character, and even prestige points that would let you unlock exclusive items or abilities. It would be a perfect way to challenge other players and show off your skills. Plus, it would be a great way to keep things fresh by adding a more competitive edge to the game. What if we had a ghost town that players could visit? This location would be a creepy, abandoned settlement, filled with eerie sounds, fog, and maybe even some supernatural occurrences. The ghost town could be full of powerful but strange enemies, like phantom outlaws who don't have much health, but are extremely fast and tough to hit. But here's the real kicker. Inside the ghost town, there could be a powerful haunted train that players could try to board. This train would be a one-time use vehicle that would take you to a secret area with rare loot and dangerous enemies. The catch? You'd have to complete a challenging puzzle or fight your way through a boss encounter to gain access to it. Alright, so those are just a few ideas that I think could make Dead Rails even better. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you want to see any of these concepts in the game? I'd love to hear your thoughts on how they could work, or if you have any other ideas you think would be a great fit. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Dead Rails news. Your support helps the channel grow, and the more we grow, the bigger chance we have to get these ideas noticed by the devs. Let's keep the community alive and thriving. Thanks for sticking around.